some guy named Peter, he was talking about the discipline on the phones and your commitment and matching those disciplines and commitments. And his message was being disciplined will carry you over what your commitment to yourself is. And sometimes whatever you committed to yourself is not matching to your discipline because you kind of give up too early. So you got to readjust that. Okay. So have stronger discipline and have stronger commitments. I really like Pastor Matthew, even though he says the same thing the last three
That's true. He says the same thing.
three calls. Welcome to the Elite Podcast. I'm your host, John Bacaron, VP of Elite Syndicate. We got a couple of people in the house today.
We got JP.
JP, you got to talk to the mic.
Oh, yeah. Can you guys hear me? JP, and we got Clifton. How's it going, guys?
Clifton. We got Monique in the back. And then Esma in the corner. I don't know if you guys can see Esma. So what we're gonna do is before we begin, let me do a couple of announcements. We just had a great Arizona training, so we're gonna reflect on that. But before we get started, let me just go through the numbers for the week. We did. Let me pull this all up. As a team for Elite, we have 157 riders at 715,474 issue paid so far on the second week of the month. Now we did about 4 something plus, so we took a little dip, okay? And so just make sure to reflect on that. And if you took the week off or you had a few days off for Arizona, make sure you come in hard to pick up and match what days you took off for. But top 10, actually, let's go with top 15 with the people with the 10,000 plus already. Number 15, Darren White at 10,081. 14, Jared Payne, 10,115. Morima, number 13, 10,373. Desiree at 10,824. Fernanda at 11,262. Brittany at 14,025. Evelyn at 14,165. William, brand new agent, 14,276. Cameron, 14,327. Carlos Urizar at 18,162, and his wife Myra at number 5 at 24,044. Letitia Thomas, first piece of business out of FFL Paragon, 25,000 issue paid, which is from an annuity. Number 3, Jason at 29,290, all life. And top 2 is Karen Pierce at 52,516, and number 1 is Coronado Haro at 65,132 on 2 weeks out. This guy is killing it. Coronado, if you're in, he has 14,941 life business and 50,000 annuity, which totals out to 65. So opportunity is going nuts. Keep it up, guys. But also, as we come into next week, you guys all know it's Thanksgiving, right? So if you are an experienced agent, you already know how to work. If you're not, let me give you guys some advice. Okay, so choose your days that you're going to choose to work and plan it out accordingly. Okay. Are you going to be flying in? Are you going to go out of town? Okay. Thursday's Thanksgiving. Most people are going to be working by Friday, Saturday. Are you going to take the weekend off? Okay. So think about it. If you're going to take some days off, you shouldn't take another day off on your weekend. So you got to plan accordingly. So typically the schedule will be, you want to use your Monday as an extra field day. I would like to do a Sunday phone night. So I go in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday as a field day. Okay. Because you're going to be going on Thursday. Thursdays is going to be your Thanksgiving. So you either set up your Friday as the phone days to work Friday, Saturday, or you just got to go hard on the first 3 days. It just depends on you. Okay. Where you're going to, tackle your business. For people doing telesales, it's the best time to call on a Friday. People are going to be off. People are going to be waking up at around 10 or 11, or sometimes early, or some people don't have anything going on. So there's an extra opportunity in there. Just don't think because people are off, agents should be off. Okay. So use that opportunity for yourself to figure out how to tackle your business. Anybody have anything to share on that as far as your experience?
Yeah, it's good that you mentioned that. So like holidays, a lot of new agents, they'll think that that's a time to take off, but realistically, that's a time to work harder. because a lot of people are with their families and they want to buy life insurance. They're with, they're with their loved ones. They're thinking about their loved ones. So last year, Christmas and Thanksgiving time, I did a lot of my business during that time.
Okay.
So it helped me catch up for the year. So if you're thinking about slowing down, it's the opposite effect. Speed up, talk to more people because they're going to be willing to buy from you during those times.
And more importantly, I'm pretty sure FFL is also going to throw something. They're going to have like a discount code off of work spots, because a lot of people they're going to expect to take off. Just remember, just don't take off too many days, because you're going to end up having from a rhythm, a momentum, and a spark from the Arizona conference to plummeting down. You got something to share, Cliff?
No, not much. Well, the same thing JP basically said. Just got to keep on hustling through the holidays, because that's when people want insurance the most. I agree with them 100%.
Yeah. So one good thing is just take Thanksgiving off, but work the day before, day after.
Yeah. You don't need 2-3 days unless you're out of town and, enjoy it.
Yeah.
But just make sure you plan for it. Okay. So we got a couple of guests here. We all came back from Arizona conference, and I'm pretty fired up. Learned a lot of things. I've been in the company for 3 years, and each time we still go, it's either going to light a flame in you, or you're going to be listening to a different tune in the end. When you're a brand new agent, you're listening on how to sell, how to make it out of FFL. When you're in management, now you're listening and tuning into, like, look at the builders, who's going to the integrity level, who's becoming a board member. So you're looking into that. So we have a couple of people to just share from their background, from their perspective, of where they're at and what their takeaways are. So we'll start off with JP. We'll keep it short, make sure it's 5 minutes so everyone gets a chance. And we also want to get a couple of people on the Zoom, including Marlon and anybody else that was there to share as well. So we'll keep it short just to make sure everyone who may have not been there, that can get a little bit of our panel as a takeaway from it.
Yeah, no problem.
So JP, go ahead.
Real short. The biggest thing for me, I already know how to sell a lot, so that's not a big deal, but building is a big thing. So I paid attention to Albert. I paid attention to Josh Williams. I paid attention to all the people who are building fast and seeing what they're doing. Now, realistically, I think a lot of the veteran agents, when they go, they feel that they don't learn anything, but realistically you can. The biggest thing is staying accountable to what you're doing and making sure that your team is participating. So for me, that's the biggest thing that I learned, is making sure that I stay accountable and my team is staying accountable. We're always trying to move forward. We're always trying to pretty much find the best in ourselves as managers to share that with our agents, so that's pretty much what I got out of it.
Any big like implementation that you picked up, or
keeping it, well, from the selling point, just staying consistent, that's good. But also making sure I'm tracking of who I'm hiring and who my team's hiring. Okay. That's the biggest thing that I'm trying to focus on right now. That's the biggest thing I got from the conference.
All right. Yeah. Perfect. Thanks. Cliff?
The biggest thing for me is I actually was talking to Marlon about this, and it was pretty big. The fact that, like, there were so many different agents doing so many different things as far as like when they implemented the whole telesales stuff. Some basically did in person, some did telesales, and some kind of did like a hybrid of both. But the main thing was they all bought leads and they all went to work. So that's basically proof that
I gotta get my stuff. Go ahead.
What you have to do is basically buy leads, go out there and work. There are different methods and things like that. So
thank you.
Can you mute? Who is that?
Ah!
Going on?
Hey, can we mute the line, please, guys?
What's going on over there? But
Who's
they
Jay?
are buying leads, going to work. So that's I feel like the conference kind of just reiterated how simple this business really is. All you have to do is really buy the leads and then just go to work. And for a lot of agents that's basically coming in, that's on the fence about it. Like, some agents from our practice company, it's like, well, everyone else is doing it. You know what I'm saying? It's just that simple.
Yeah. So you feel like as a manager, as a VP now, you can reiterate that
exactly
to the new
And
agents.
there's so many different methods nowadays. It's not just in person. You can do telesales, you can do Zoom sales. So the possibilities are really endless nowadays.
That's great. Cool. One of you ladies, Esme, you ready? Monique? Okay, hop in. Well, let's switch them out. JP, get up too, so Esme can come in already. Come on in. All right, who would like to go first?
All right,
You got to talk really, really close. Pull it up to your mouth. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I'm new to the business. My name's Monique, and the conference was amazing. Being new, haven't really been out there much, but I was inspired by a few people. Vivian, she's great. Her attitude towards business is amazing. She's a go-getter. Even watching her YouTube trainings, the seriousness of being in the office, I respect her for that. And, her advice on buying leads is great. That's the number one thing I can say I got out of it, was buy leads, go into the field, be intentional in everything that you do, be your true self. So being new, I'm excited. I'm just excited for this journey that's coming up. And I encourage everyone to stick to it and just learn from everyone around you. I like that everyone's pretty humble. The people that I've met, everyone's pretty approachable, willing to help, genuine in their approach. And I respect that in this business.
That's great. Esme, make sure you're talking to the mic.
Okay. So I think the biggest thing for me, I was introduced to the business in the beginning of the year, but I just got started maybe like the last week of August.
Okay.
But I did go to convention in February, and going to convention again now that I'm actually active in writing business, it was like different, because as much training as you can watch, it serves you, but it also doesn't serve you until you're actually doing it. So I think the biggest thing for me now that I'm actually doing it, I know what to implement. I know what to work on, and, just things like that, like the activity and the mindset and just being proactive. If, for example, if you don't book up enough appointments, okay, then, stay in the field and door knock, or get back on the phone, but stay in the field. Don't go home, because, you go home and you get comfortable and stuff. So I think for me, that was the biggest thing.
Okay. You have any new goals after seeing how big people are writing and stuff?
Yeah, for
So-
sure. I mean, I know we say 20K is basic, but
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't hit 20K yet. So I think
20K is a
that's
goal
going to
for
be
you.
my first goal. And then after
Anything,
that,
any specific thing that you picked up that's going to help you implement to get you to 20K?
I think the biggest thing was just, like I said, the activity,
Okay.
because I think sometimes we play ourselves and we say we're working, but realistically you're not, So for me, I think the biggest thing is just, to really push myself and really see what my limits are.
Okay. Good.
Can I add to that?
Yeah.
So
Mike.
I feel like with me, I'm very intentional with my goals now. I watched Zach Todarski on a YouTube training
Yeah. he's
about the 60 to 90-day goal planning, so literally from your scheduling, the timing that you put into everything that you do. I still work my regular job, so I have to be intentional in the things that I do from day to day so that I can excel in this business. So that's one of my specific goals, just one of many,
Yeah.
but I feel like it's very important.
Well, I commend you because, knowing her a little bit, she has 2 jobs, plus she made the time to go to Arizona because she see a big potential in FFL.
Yeah.
So a lot of good things. She just actually applied for her license. So she came in to Arizona without, she passed her test, but she hasn't even gotten her license yet. So
Right.
a lot of big things coming from you.
Yes.
Big
Excited for you.
expectations.
Thank you.
Okay.
So,
Anybody else that's in the call would like to share a little bit? I know Marlon wanted to talk for a second. Marlon, are you on?
Yes, sir. What's going on, fam?
Yeah. So what's your big takeaways coming? This is you've been to a couple of conferences and you were there in Arizona last February as well.
Yeah. I was at convention earlier this year. We've done a couple of LA conferences. But this one was special for obvious reasons. I had the they invited me. I know Albert, put me in there, and FFL USA, Grady, they all approved, the speakers and stuff. So it was a treat, man. It was really fun. I talked to, Esmeralda and Monique and, some other people. I was freaking out, because it's one thing to go to these events and be, a viewer and part of the audience. It's you're just going to listen and learn and hopefully socialize and network. But this time it was really different. What I can say is when you work hard and when you get your numbers up and you build and, you take it seriously and you start moving up, people will notice you, you'll get more opportunities, more doors will open. And what I can say is take advantage of those opportunities, because when they called me to say, hey, do you want to talk on stage? Part of me was like, hell no. Part of me was like, absolutely not. It's scary, 3,000 people. But the other part of me is like, hey, if we want an integrity deal, I'm gonna say it again. Like if we want an integrity deal, part of you getting an integrity deal isn't just writing business and recruiting. Part of it is teaching. Part of it is you being given a mic and you being given the opportunity to talk in front of thousands of people. So, this was a warm up, I feel. Goal is to speak at convention, God willing. That's 20,000 people, 7 more times than the people that we had. So it's new levels, different challenges. You're always, FFL is really great at challenging us. We think that, we get over one thing and then it's like, all right, great. You're talking in front of people. And it's like, oh man, now it's a whole new battle. But I think for me, the one of the biggest thing I learned, I don't remember the guy that said it, but just social media strategies. Social media, as you guys know, I'm obsessed with at this point, and I'm always looking for ways to promote and market. And this guy was talking about how he finds influencers, or he finds people with a lot of clout, and he pays them to promote his content. I personally think that's brilliant. I think that, again, I said it up there: scared money don't make no money. If you have money, if I got to pay somebody $1,000 who's got 100,000 viewers to promote my content, yes, sir, because that means X amount of people will see my stuff. I can get hires. So, stuff like that I would have never thought about myself. Brand deals, he threw that out there, and I thought that was an amazing idea. So it was really fun to see everybody. And, I had people flying from New York, all this stuff, people, older people, younger people, married people, single people. It's just really cool what you can do here when you take it seriously and decide to build a big business.
Yeah, let me expand on that. So what this guy was doing is he's social media marketing. And instead of creating his page, what he does is he looks for people with over 10,000 plus accounts. He slides them on the DM and just says, hey, man, can you just write this? It's a pre-written part saying, hey, I just found out, like, on a side business, you're able to make a couple of $1,000. If you're interested, DM his page. So the guy is advertising for him, and all he's doing is he's going to Venmo or Cash App him, maybe a few $100s. The guy's going to take it because it's free money for him, and all he has to do is post it to his stories. But his mentality about it, he was very expansive in his mind state. Instead of seeking clients or hiring agents, how can I have them come to me? And it's basically using Instagram as just as paid advertisement. Pay someone else to advertise your page. And most of these guys are willing to do it that's how they get paid with Instagram. Yeah. So it was brilliant. And he was willing to share that because that's like a trade secret in a sense. Yeah. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's dope.
So thanks, Marlon. Anything you want to take away specifically for you that you, besides from that, anything, any applications or implementations?
No, that was, probably the biggest thing. It was a lot of information, obviously. Right. To be honest, that's the thing that sticks out the most to me that I will be implementing today. I'm already looking for people, but it was just really fun to do that and overcome, my fears and step into the uncomfortable, really tested me. And it also really proved to me that I'm built for this. I can do this. And, this is only the beginning, and we're just going to keep leveling up. And it was also amazing to see, my agents, Carlos and Jason up there, that hit very differently, because me being up there, I definitely enjoyed that. It was cool, but I can't tell you how much fun I had to watch Carlos and Jason up there. And I was just cheering them on and, laughing and record. I felt like a dad, watching his son's soccer game or something. Like that was just really cool too. So my goal is, I'm focused on building VPs, as many as I can, duplication and talk at these. It's great and promotion too, because you're in front of thousands of people, you're dressed nicely, everything looks legit, so that's the blueprint.
Nice. And yeah, if you guys missed it, Jason killed it. Got the
it was so funny. Oh, and there is FFL USA's Facebook page. They do have the full recording of the launch event. So if you guys missed it, it's on there.
Okay, perfect. All right. Anybody else would like to share? Anybody that came in there? Anything that you just feel that is beneficial to you that you'd like to share for anyone else that could have missed it? And then I'll go. No? So I got a couple of things for you guys. So one of the guys, I didn't get to write their names. I was just writing what they were talking about. But one good guy, I think, was it Mac? He was talking about the leads and like your mind state on the leads. And it was pretty strong because he said, if it's the lead's fault, how are you ever going to grow? That was his main question. Because when we come in with the mind state of blaming the leads, you're taking away that accountability on yourself and you're blaming external factors. So when you blame external factors, you can't choose to improve on yourself because you're not accepting that it's your fault. So he was saying, dude, it's never the leads, it's you. You got to get better at calling these leads because the proof is in the pudding. Everyone else in Arizona conference is killing it with the same type of leads that you have. Okay. And if it's possible that you're blaming one lead, then you got to be expansive in your mind state to switch out the lead. Maybe you're not having good leads with the 1 month old, go with the instance, or maybe you're doing with the final expanse, or you got to do a mailer. You got to just be expansive on switching out your variety of leads to get you to those results. And if you take that personal accountability, it'll never be the leads. You can readjust because you can take control. You take control back by blaming yourself instead of blaming external factors. So I thought that was really good. Another person who was just talking about chase the leads when they're doing travel trips. I believe that was Nina. Mm-hmm. She was talking about a good schedule for her, how she does it. She goes 3 days out into the week. And so she would buy leads early, like Friday or Saturday. And what she would do is she would call those leads Sunday to book for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And she wouldn't leave and fly out until she has 15 booked already. And what she would do then is she would book, once she books 15 on that Sunday, she flies in on a Monday morning, dials again that Monday to fill in her schedules for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Mm-hmm. So she would have a solid Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, come back by Friday, or choose to not come back and work some more door knocks, depending on how her structure is. But she had a strong mentality of, when you're buying leads and you're working those travel trips, you got to set yourself up right. Because if you go in, you've already spent the money, but you didn't buy the leads. That's what she was saying. Like, you're setting yourself up for failure. You've already bought the ticket, got the hotel, got the car. You got to make sure you set yourself up strong. So you got to have that structure. Jamie Cheerio shared his average $50K a month, something to pick up on. He spends about $2,500 in a week in leads, and he has a mixture of mortgage protection and CRM leads. And his focus is booking about 28 to 30 appointments a week. And he was just talking about he runs a crazy schedule because he lives in Oregon and he does like 3-hour drives, an hour and a half drives, and he's in multiple counties in one day setting. So he's okay. And he's agreeing with himself having 7 to 10 appointments in a day, 7 max, because he has to drive time. Yeah. But mentally, he's so strong that he focuses on, I'm still spending $2,500 a week. He's still doing FFL dials. He's still booking his appointments and he makes it happen. Okay. Caitlin, one of the ladies that does 100K in production, she had a strong one where she was just like, the difference between me and a lot of other agents that are producing, I'm just working longer and harder. And she kept it simple. You just got to work more. She does 100K a month. So whatever you think your financial thermometer is, she just keeps going. And that's what Jason, if you guys missed him, Jason's message was, dude, I don't count my AP. I don't count my production. Sometimes I would have bad days. I would have good days. I just keep going. And then he just credits to his Persian tea. So I keep saying, I drink my Persian tea and I'm ready to rock. Another one, some guy named Peter, he was talking about the discipline on the phones and your commitment and matching those disciplines and commitments. And his message was, being disciplined will carry you over what your commitment to yourself is. And sometimes whatever you committed to yourself is not matching to your discipline because you kind of give up too early. So you got to readjust that. Okay. So have stronger discipline and have stronger commitments. I really like Pastor Matthew, even though he says the same thing the last three
That's true. He says the same thing.
3 calls. So I'm very, very good with my memory. And yeah. I only need to hear something once, right? But with his message, he has multiple messages that you can pick it apart and pick up what carries to you. So he said the same thing on the first February call in Arizona. Same thing. Then we have our May June Los Angeles conference, he said the same thing. And then he had this Arizona conference, he said the same thing. But it was just still powerful because he had the script down. It's scripted, but I mean, he has it down. He changes things left and right. But his overall message is just making sure that you outlast your doubt. Okay. You got to have something in you that overcomes the fear of the future by having the imagination of what could happen and positively be a greater future. Okay. What if I don't make money? What if I don't do this? What if I don't do that? He said that you got to have the positive mind state, or like the faith and the hope of what if. What if I do 30,000 in a month? What if I do 50K in a month? How much money and what will be able to, what would I be able to do with my money? What if I hit these goals? So it was all about overcoming those doubts and your pros and cons by having the pros of the what if. Okay. So, and in his main line, really, which is really, really good to me, he said that wanting to quit is the sign of success. Wanting to quit is the sign of success because you have something that's worth something to quit. Okay. So that was really powerful and deep because, you know, when you're ready to quit, you're ready to throw in the towel, you know that's something good. You know something's weighing you down, but that's really, really good to keep it going. So he was overall like, I mean, a lot of little things that add up, even though you've heard it before, where you're at in your life or where you're at in your business, you'll be able to pick up something. So he's really good. Anything else? We talked about the IG influencer. I got something from Isaiah for the builders. He said that people get discouraged real quickly when building from cold market. Okay. And what you hire now builds 90 days from now, especially when it's a cold market, unlicensed. So what you're putting in today won't reflect into your issue paid report until 90 days from later. Because when you hire someone, you know, it takes them a few days to a week to 2 weeks to get licensed, to pass the test, to apply for the license, get their license, do the HCMS, get contracted, to finally have an agent number, and then to finally start learning business. So his matter is just, you know, every lead source, hiring source, they all suck a little bit, but they all work a little bit. So it's all about just staying consistent and keep on working and just know at the end of the line, 90 days from now, things are going to keep moving. So just don't give up too quick on that. Okay. So another guy he was bringing up, he said to be influential in the home and not to be informative too much. It's not the knowing the products. Influence is asking the right questions to place the client and paint the picture for them. So I just wrote down a question mark. He said, you know, like, Bob, if you die tomorrow, Susie won't be able to afford her $300 piano lessons. So now you're painting the picture of what would happen in case that client passes, instead of just saying, look, it's $300 a month, $200,000 coverage. So you're painting the picture for them. Couple more things. I have a lot more, but I don't want to just rant off to myself.
Yeah, no.
But
The one you
I did
said with
take a lot of
Isaiah is
notes.
good. No, that was good. What he was saying, that all of them suck, but they all work a little bit.
Yeah.
That's so true, though. You know?
Yeah. All it is like we all know what we got to do, but we have our own little mental challenges and mental blocks that when you hear it from someone else that has a better experience or better results than you, and they've been in the same shoe as you, you just kind of like, oh, it's their perspective into things. It's the way they look at it. And ideally, it doesn't let them get deterred when it deters us.
Yeah.
That's true.
Does that make sense?
Like
Yeah.
this
You have a little
business
mental
is
block.
like totally like 50% mindset and 50% activity.
More like 90%.
Yeah, well,
'Cause,
true,
like,
but
how hard is our business, really?
Right.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Like if you put in the work to dial, you know,
Yeah.
you're gonna get the results and get the appointments. If you get the appointments, and you know,
Yeah.
it all plays out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something?
A big thing is like a lot of new agents, what they'll do is, say, for instance, you leave a 9 to 5 and we're used to working 40 hours a week.
Mhm.
They don't apply that same 40 hours to this business. And that's why they might be struggling a little bit. Like instead, you know, you start at 9 o'clock at your job, 8 o'clock at your job, you go till 5. If you're brand new in insurance. So when I first started, I remember, John, when I come in the office, I come in early because I was so bad on the phones. I had to dial for a long time to book up. So I put that extra time in. So a lot of new agents they might have a little bit of a shortcoming is that they don't put that extra time and they don't treat it like that like they would a normal job.
I'm
Yeah.
so happy you
So-
say that because I'm guilty of that.
Everyone has their.
I think
their-
everyone is a little bit, you know,
Yeah.
because realistically, we're all human.
Yeah.
We're all just used to like doing the least just to get by.
Yeah.
I'm even, you know, guilty of doing that. So, you know, realistically, for a lot of the newer agents that are on this call, you have to double down in your time, understand that it's okay that you're not going to be that good, but you will get better over time through repetition and activity. You
Yeah.
know?
And overall, like when you start listening to these guys on stage, I mean, everyone has been in your position.
Oh yeah.
And as they grow into the business, they start seeing things in a simpler manner, and they can pretty much summarize it in one-liners in a sense to feel exactly where you're feeling at.
Yeah.
Okay. So a couple of things that I want to add on. I just need to take a break because I'm talking too much.
You take a deep
He
breath.
One of the guys, especially the integrity Q&A, if you guys were there, because that's the next level, basically, right? That's the big level up for us to become an integrity deal.
Yeah.
And all these board members to integrity deals, there's also the board member panel. Albert had a lot of great things, so make sure you guys watch that. He talks about his culture and how to run a culture and how to build people up. Trey had a good one. I like listening to Trey. He said when you become a VP, the pitfall of a VP is going to manager mode rather than building mode. Okay. So you always want to focus on your new agents. And he mentioned not to micromanage your agents. Okay. If you're micromanaging, that means you're manager mode and you're not building new ones. Okay. So he said, you know, if you had to think of them like kids, you have your agents, you got a 2-month-old kid, you got a 14-year-old kid. Who's going to die faster if you don't watch them? The 2-month-old, which are your new agents. You know, a 14-year-old can feed themselves. They can last for a few days. A 2-month won't last a day or so. So he was just saying that, you know, you continue to focus, build the relationships, and another agent said, or another person on the guest said, control your dopamine. Okay, control your highs. So your dopamine will go up and it will go down depending on where you're at in business. Maybe you have a chargeback. Dopamine is going to be taking a hit.
Yeah, for sure.
You had a big sale. Like Misha today had a $5,800 sale. Guess how
Yeah.
high his dopamine levels are?
Right. Good
It's up
job,
there,
Misha.
right? Hey, but let's get back to that Trey comment real quick because I want to mention what he said.
What's that?
He said that a 14-year-old, he said you can grow a bigger business, a true business, when you understand your 14-year-old can take care of your 2-year-old.
Right.
So that's like your managers. That's like, you know, Albert has, you know, helped me when I was first starting. You helped me too when I was a 2-year-old, but now I'm a 14-year-old. Now you can trust me to take care of the 2-year-old or the 2-month-old that's just coming in the business. And he said that's how you can grow a big business when you understand that.
Yeah.
So
And
letting your managers manage.
yeah. So essentially not let your managers manage. You
Or-
want to have your middle managers learn how to hire other managers.
Yes. Yeah.
And so that's ultimately the level of your leadership and your influence. It's, if you could build more leaders, you don't have to do all the work.
Yeah. You don't have to do
Right.
everything.
I really liked also Andrew's message. Let me read. So I took my biggest takeaway about the integrity deal for him, and he said, "Dude, if you put in the work and get the integrity deal, you'll never feel like a prisoner to not be away from your family because you have to work." So think about the future of what you can do. If you really put in the extra work now, you never have to feel like I got to go to work because I got to pay bills instead of having more fun and time with the family. There was one that said I needed to be away more from the family until you don't need to be anymore.
Yeah.
So you kind of got to just put in the grind first, put in all the work, and it's there for you for the rest of your life, because integrity deal is going to be a multi-level of taking care of your family, their generation, and the next generation. Sean Mike was really, really upfront about things. He said, you know, if you say you want it, don't lie to yourself. If you really want it, just don't lie to yourself. You know, do you really want it? Be honest. If it doesn't, it does require hard work. Just be upfront. Okay. The only thing that stops you from being up here are honesty and hard work.
Yeah.
So that really hit home deep, because, you know, people want to say they want to get there, they want to do there, but their actions aren't leading them to it.
Yeah, it's not
true.
matching. Yeah,
Yeah, it's not matching. So how bad do you really want it?
exactly. No, that was good that he said that, because he said, stop lying to your friends and family that you're really trying to do this and trying to make a change in your life.
Yeah.
when your actions are matching that. Something along those lines. But it was really good.
Yeah. So a lot of good things, a lot of little things to pick up. It's just a matter of, what is applicable to you at that point at time. Okay. And my overall thinking now, when I was looking at this, and I'll end it with this, like all these board members, do they care about production? Slightly, right? But if they're an integrity deal, does it matter? They get their earnouts, right? But at the end of the day, now we're an IMO, an independent marketing organization, and all these big guys now are just thinking big level. Okay. I was looking at it like this whole Arizona conference, these guys are event coordinators. Okay. They're not thinking about VP presidents. They're event coordinators in a sense. Their job at that singular focus was get people into the conference.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because if we got people into the conference, production will follow.
True.
Okay. Because people, once they have all the lines, the people talking, people will get the hype and the deal to get better.
Mm-hmm.
So I was looking at that too. It's like, okay, so where should, in my position, be my next goal? And how do I turn my business into $1 million business? Convention is going to be the next goal. I got to look at it like an event coordinator too. I got to look at my hiring managers. How many of my hiring managers will bring people to convention? Because for every person you bring to convention or into a conference, dude, that's a potential 10,000 plus to a 20 to a 30K production agent. So be like an event coordinator. They, on a daily, they were tallying how many of an account attendance within the VP chat that we have. So if you guys want to see yourself on your next level, you got to get to a convention. Okay. You're going to learn. It's a 3-day instead of a 1-day of all of FFL. Mainly this was FFL USA in the West Coast. But now you'll hear about, East Coast, Northeast, Northwest, all of FFL are going to be in convention. Top producers, 500 to $1 million, like Steve Giordano that does $1 million by like June.
1.5, yeah.
1.5 now.
Yeah, easy.
Right. So you're going to pick up so much, but don't just let it stop with you. Your main goal now is how many people can you bring to that's going to be under you? And that's going to take care of your business right there.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
Okay.
And hey, just to add to that, just looking back, I know the 3 years that you've been here, 2 years that I've been here, every single agent that's gone to those conventions, they're still here. Mm-hmm. Most of them. And they're all doing well. The people that tend to not do as well or struggle are the people who don't, go to these type of meetings and learn and want to do better. So it's so funny that you do say that, because a lot of people that go, man, they make money. Yeah. So that's a good point.
Anybody else would like to share? We're just going to cap that off until unless someone else want to share their experience. Cool. All right, guys. So thanks for joining us. Albert is actually with the team training right now. So Albert, we'll see Albert next week. All right, guys. Have a good one.